Hello, Chris Bombolas for Nine's Wide World of Sports. Thanks for joining us for the 1989 Winfield State of Origin Series. The first match coming to you live from headquarters at Lang Park, and what a fantastic feeling it is down at Lang Park. 31,000 fans ready to cheer on the Maroons. Okay, let's go to our commentators, Alan Thomas and Andrew Slack, for their thoughts on the big match.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Andrew, I think this match is going to get down to experience in the forwards. New South Wales, Gavin Miller is the only forward to play State of Origin. He's played 2 matches. Queensland total 49 games in the forwards. That's too much for the Blues. Queensland to win.
Sure, and there's the Lang Park factor as well. Now, Jack Gibson, the coach, being Jack Gibson, has said it's just a patch of grass with a fence around it. But with 31,000 screaming Queenslanders, I think the new blokes in the New South Wales side will find it's more than a patch of grass with a fence around it. I think the experience of Queensland and their good form will tell Queensland to win.
Well, the two sides have met on 23 occasions here in Australia, and the scoreline at the moment favours Queensland by 14-9. But if we have a look at the 23 encounters, New South Wales haven't won a game since the first game of the 1987 series, Queensland winning 5 in a row. OK, we'll take a short break and then we'll be back with all the action.
Stadiums in the world, Andrew Slack, to witness what we hope will be one of the greatest football games of all.
Yes, in the 10th year of State of Origin, and they just keep getting better. People thought that perhaps they'd go down a bit when Brisbane added a team into the Sydney League. It hasn't happened that way. And just look at the crowd. Things haven't changed. They've improved for Queensland over the years. And there you go, the Alan Langer masks. Let's see if he can live up to his performances in the past years.
Let's go to the sideline. Here's Rod Tiley.
Thank you, Alan. Well, as far as this evening's game is concerned, it is absolutely sensational as far as the pressure on the sideline is concerned. Let me tell you about the dressing rooms. It was quiet determination in both rooms. Jack Gibson, the New South Wales coach, spent a lot of time individually with his players, in particular talking to fellas like Paul Dunn, Paul Sirenen and Bradley Clyde. Artie Beetson, confident in the knowledge that everything that needed to be said had already been said before they arrived at Lang Park, and the Maroons were some sitting inside the room, some outside the room with officials and close friends, and obviously determined to do the job tonight. It's a great game coming up, the first of Origin 89.
And here come the Maroons, led by the one and only, you'll hear the cheer for the Emperor, Wally Lewis. Once again leads the Maroon Warriors onto the turf of Lang Park to do battle against New South Wales, playing in his 24th State of Origin match tonight. And now New South Wales about to make their way out, led by Gavin Miller. And here's the Lang Park welcome. And Gavin Miller doesn't even want to come on to Lang Park with his socks up. He's followed out by Terry Lamb, and the other players wait. Well, is this a tactical ploy from Jack Gibson, Andrew Slack?
Well, it's a weird one if it is, but Jack always known to be up to a few tricks. I don't know if he starts them before kick-off, though.
Now the rest of the Blues come out. I note Laurie Daly with his right hamstring very heavily taped. He's had trouble with his hamstring in the last couple of weeks. Gary Jack with his right arm padded up after breaking it. And this is what New South Wales confront tonight. The fullback for Queensland, Gary Belcher. Alan McIndoe, Tony Curry. Mal Meninga returns, and Michael Hancock, other 3/4. Wally Lewis, the 5/8 and captain. The halfback is Alan Langer. The props are Martin Bella and Dan Staines, with Kerrod Walters the hooker. The second rows are Paul Borton and Gene Miles. The lockers Bob Linder, and they're coached by the one and only Arthur Beetson. And Lewis marshals his troops.
And the New South Wales team, not one survivor from the starting 13 of the 1988 opening Origin match. Fullback Gary Jack. The wingers are John Ferguson and Chris Johns. Centres Andrew Farah and Laurie Daly. 5/8 is Terry Lamb. He was a replacement in that match last year. The halfback Des Hasler. The forwards, the props, Paul Dunn and John Cartwright. Mario Fennick is the hooker. Second row, Gavin Miller, who's the skipper of the side. Paul Sirenen. Lock, number 13, Bradley Clyde. Coached by the one and only Jack Gibson.
Well, this match has been also touted, Andrew, as the battle of the coaches as well as the players. waiting for the national anthem to be sung by Channel 9's Brisbane's Laurel Edwards. Well, what emotional stuff, Andrew Slack.
What pictures? You won't get closer to those blokes without getting hurt.
And there's the little man, Alan Langer. I wonder if he feels as nervous tonight as he did on his debut. The tension's there. It's not the sweat on the brow yet, but there's plenty of cream there. Terry Lamb. Now, here's the statistic about Terry Lamb. He has never scored a point in State of Origin football, and Mick Stone will control his 4th game tonight. Andrew, that's unbelievable. Terry Lamb has never scored a point in State of Origin football.
Well, it astounded me, and of course last year when Queensland had them on the run in that first game, Terry Lamb came on late and he inspired a couple of tries from New South Wales. I think some of the Queenslanders feel that Terry Lamb is best served for New South Wales coming on late in the game. I don't think they hold too many fears from him in the starting lineup. I'm sure Terry Lamb will have something to say about that, but words don't do much on State of Origin night. It's action's what counts, and we're about to start the action as soon as the marching men and women get off, and there, of course, Chris Johns. Wonder what the crowd will be thinking for Chris Johns. He plays here so often with the Broncos and everybody loves him in a blue jersey. Different story.
Mal Meninga returns tonight. Since 1986, Tony Curry, 8 times a reserve, but in the team over the last 2 years. And, of course, Wally Lewis. The band leaves the ground down towards the Milton Road end. Laurie Daly with that hamstring very tightly strapped, and isn't he a size for centre, Daly? And the kick is off. The band leaves the ground. Plays underway. McIndoe runs it 10 metres out from his own line. Hello. What's the rule here? There's a knock-on in there.
Yes, Alan McIndoe made a mistake from the kick-off. Mick Stone seemed to take his while before he made that ruling. McIndoe played on. Obviously, I think some of the players with the crowd noise mustn't have heard it. And here it is as it comes to McIndoe. He tries to take it on the full. In fact, gets it on the half volley. No risk. It does go forward. Drop out from under the post.
Well, Mick Stone took a long time to play the knock-on. He waited for the tackle, whether he thought McIndoe was going to cop up possession and play the advantage. But Lewis drops out. That's a big one over the halfway mark for Gary Jack. Almost down to the 22. Now they'll test Jack's arm out. Runs into Kerrod Walters. Also in there was Vaughton. Phoenix from dummy half. He's 9 metres inside his own territory. Cartwright's gone without it. Spilt ball from New South Wales. Spilt ball from Queensland. Cartwright wanting to go on to a bit of business. Mick Stone calling out Martin Bella. Settle down, says Lewis.
Bella and Cartwright involved, and of course that's this period, often this softening up period, and there's been so much talk about the props. I'm sure that the 4 of them are all set to show the critics that they can play football. A little bit of niggle early. Queensland win the first scrum.
Belcher up from fullback, and Lewis is quickly met by Laurie Daly. Langer goes to dummy half for Bella. And Martin Bella's the leader of the pack tonight. Walters away to Langer and through Lewis, picking up Belcher. Can't get the hands free to Meninga.
Good tackle by John Cartwright out there to stop Belcher.
Walters flips it back to Langer. Long pass to Meninga. And big Mal Meninga's inside the 22. He's in the field of play by a metre. Now Langer cuts out Miles and gives it to Staines. And Dan Staines is 15 metres out on the final tackle. Langer over to Lewis. Grubbers ahead. It might be too deep. Jack will let it go. Goes over the dead ball line. Play to come back from the 22.
Wasn't Wally Lewis's best kick, but good tactics there. Of course, we remember last year, and Langer absolutely killed New South Wales with his chip kicks. They probably going up on him. He saw that, moved it out to Wally Lewis. Wally put in the chip. It's good to have the options. Both Langer and Lewis, of course, good kickers. That one wasn't a particularly good one from the King, though. I'm sure he'll improve.
So it's a quick play, the ball, and Hasler juggles it. Didn't fool Paul Borton, and Des Hasler goes to ground. Bradley Clyde, a dummy half. This 19-year-old boy from Canberra. Tackled 10 metres outside his own quarter. Now it's away to big Paul Sirenen. In go the Maroons. Now Liam takes over the role as dummy half and puts his foot to it. It's straight up in the air. In comes Hancock. Takes it well. Are New South Wales onside? Mitch Stone deems they are. Hancock goes to ground.
A bit surprising that they opted to use as the first penalty. New South Wales offside. Mick Stone penalty right on halfway for Queensland, but getting back to Lamb.
Lewis to kick for touch.
Lamb's use as dummy half, somewhat surprising. Gibson came public with that early in the week. What I find more surprising is that he tried to do the kick from dummy half and put himself under pressure. Ended up being a reasonable kick. Hancock took it well. Queensland now on attack.
Bella runs it at the quarter line. He's inside the 22. Now Miles. Hit hard in the tackle. Mario Fennick was there, and so was Bradley Clyde. Now to Borton. Borton's 12 metres out. This is good defence from New South Wales. Lewis standing wide, decides to run. Belcher comes in field, runs into a hornet's nest. Queensland finding it hard to make ground. Now Langers with the football. Long pass to Staines. On it goes to Bella. Back to Staines. Now to Hancock. Hancock has to take the tackle. Probably took the wrong option, Staines.
Inside pass to Alan Langer might have been the way to go.
Chip from Langer. Johns is there. And is he tackled and he's in goal? He certainly is. That'll be a drop out from underneath the sticks.
And his two Broncos teammates, Michael Cook and Alan Langer. Sorry, Chris, but you're not with us today, pal.
And so Queensland obviously trying to keep the pressure. There's Johns. You'll see him come into screen. In comes Hancock and in comes Langer. Andrew Farrer with the football. Oh, look at that strong work from Hancock. Farrer drops out. That's a big one too. Belcher sets himself. New South Wales warming up in defence. Belcher runs it to the middle of the ruck. Centre field, midway quarter and 22, halfway and 22. Now Miles. Just outside the quarter. Now Walters. Now Langer goes to dummy half, and over it goes to Staines, and he's inside the quarter. Now Walters to Langer, Lewis, back inside to Miles.
Miles doing a lot of work early.
Final tackle coming up. Langer kicks and follows. Ferguson's there. Can he get it? He does get away from Langer. And he's not going to get away from Kerrod Walters. Around the ankles, Walters, and this is real pressure from the Maroons.
Brilliant stuff from Queensland, and they are really going in with great determination in those tackles in the in-goal area. By the way, referee Mick Stone has had a couple of cautions on the run to Laurie Daly, the centre, who's been doing a bit of back-chatting, so he'll have to be careful.
So Farrer again drops out. It's a game for Belcher right on the halfway peg. Pass goes to Curry, inside to Hancock, and he'll take the tackle. 27 metres out from the try line. Walters a dummy half for Bella. Up goes the New South Wales defence. Underneath was Miller, in there was Sirenen and also Cartwright. Inside the 22 now, Queensland, where Bobby Linden's first touch of the football. Borton. One pass to Lewis. Can't get his hands free. The Emperor stands his ground. Walters. Miles. Miles! 5 metres out. Final tackle. Gets up and plays it to Walters. Then it's gone to Langer. Kicks through and it's too deep. Play to come back to the quarter.
Well, Gene Miles outstanding in his attack so far. He's been taking them one off the ruck and they just don't seem to have an answer to him. He's made ground every single time. Hasn't been able to get the pass away.
And already John Cartwright's got his hands at the back of his head for New South Wales. Queensland offside there. Lucky to get away with that, and Hasler runs again. Des Hasler very strong for his size, Des Hasler. Now Fennick goes to dummy half. Has a run on his own. He's tackled by Curry. That's Paul Dunn. Now Cartwright. Pass has gone to Lamb. John's coming in to link up with Lamb. Now Sirinen. Keeping the ball alive. It's now with Miller as it goes to Chris Johns. And he's tackled 5 metres inside Queensland territory. Farrah's at dummy half. Queensland offside. He's got Curd Walters and Dan Staines.
Well, that's pretty tough from Mick Stone. The New South Wales outside backs were offside for 4 rucks only moments ago. Queensland's been pinched.
So what happens here? What's Daly do? Is Daly going to have a shot at goal, or is he going to kick for touch? Touch. Daly finds play inside the Queensland 22. Now it's the Maroons' chance to defend. The defence of New South Wales has been spot on so far. Miller plays it to Fennick, and over it goes to Lamb, to Hasler. Jack's got caught by Lewis. He's got it back to Hasler. And they let him run. Martin Bella and Gene Miles pick him off outside the quarter. Fennick, a dummy half, has a run on his own. Back to Dunn. Now Fennick to Cartwright. Good tackle by Borton and Bella. Fennick again, fiddling around with it. Knocked back is the ruling from Mick Stone. Now big pull, Sirenen's a dummy half. To Lamb. It kicks through. Someone better hurry, it's McIndoe. Can he get out of there? Running across. And he'll go to ground in goal, so it's return pressure from the Blues.
Yeah, it's good play from Terry Lamb. He, of course, will be the main kicker for New South Wales. But I thought the Queensland couple was a bit slow getting back there. He was pressured, Lamb, by the defenders, but no one back there to help McIndoe.
So Lewis. Drops out. Farrah. Tackled by Staines and Bell. Jack from dummy half, having a run. Quickly put to the ground by Miles and Walters. It's Gavin Miller now. Short one, it goes to Bradley Clyde. And he's tackled outside the court. Fennick to Dunn. So the defence has been the key so far in this match. Over to Lamb. It's high. Here's Sirenen coming through on Belcher. It's gone loose. It might have been touched by who? No goal. Well, that could have been anywhere. No try. That came off about 6 different sets of hands, that ball. So the scrum to be packed with New South Wales to feed. So Queensland tested. Hasler puts it in. Takes it out at the back. Langer's got hold of Des Hasler. New South Wales only 5 metres away from the try line. Quite a dummy half. Jack. Gary Jack. 3 metres out. Fennick in there now. Goes on his own. A metre short. Dunn. Lang was offside. Got away with it. Back to Miller. Now it's Cartwright. Away it goes through Hasler to Lamb. Now to Farrah, and the kick's on. Will it go dead? No, Belcher will have to help it on its way.
Well, OK, Queensland again under pressure, but I think Farah took the wrong option there. It looked to me as if McIndoe was going to come in on the New South Wales support. There was 3-2 overlap for New South Wales. Farah kicked. I think he squandered an opportunity, but they'll still be able to maintain the pressure, although Wally Lewis is giving these drop kicks a decent thump.
Puts his boot to that one. That's over the halfway mark to Jack. Safe hands, Gary Jack. Tackled by Vaughton. Fennick at dummy half. They're nearly back at the 22, the Blues. Clyde. Now Fennick, a short side to Hasler. Then it goes to Dunn. Hands back to Hasler. Cool play. Ferguson. A little scoot. Can he link up? No, he can't. He's on the quarter weight. Lamb over to Miller. Short pass to Daly. Oh, Daly's caught by Lindner. Quick play the ball to Lamb. Here they go, the Blues. Miller, stab ahead, drop. That'll be New South Wales ball and 6 to go. They're 4 metres out from the line. Lamb's going to knock it on. And he's hurried to get rid of it. Terry Lamb's dropped it. Queensland, chance of a reprieve if they can win the ball from the scrum with the loose head and feed.
They obviously think they're going to get over the line by doing some kicking. New South Wales, once again, I thought the better option would have been to take the ball up. Queensland have got an opportunity now, and Lamb just panicked to touch.
Langer takes it away and decides to pass it to Belcher to Lewis. Lewis, inside, the Maroons are away. Hancock, the coverage from Hasler. Hasler's coming in cover. He'll get him. No, he won't. He still goes, Hancock. But Queensland decide to run it from their own try line.
And that's confidence in your own ability.
And the Blues are offside by a mile. Langer comes up. He's been interfered with. Taps it and plays on. Alan Langer. Long pass. McIndoe. Alan McIndoe. And he's in. Alan McIndoe in. Alan Langer put the try down to the little boy. The quick tap, the run across field, the floating pass into the hands of Alan McIndoe. And he's in to score. Queensland lead 4 points to 0.
Well, I don't know about a floating pass. It went like a torpedo. He's taken the quick tap. All of New South Wales are offside. Good refereeing, Mick Stoney. Let play continue. And there's that pass. Cuts out 3 men. Alan McIndoe taking it on the full pelt. Gets around Farah. A high tackle by Farah. Poor attempted tackle. And tries to make things better for his kicker. Alan McIndoe, good sensible player, but put it down to Alan Langer. There's McIndoe front on.
Determination personified. Goodbye, Andrew Farah. I'll try and bring this around. Gary Jackson, hot pursuit. I can't get any closer, and that'll do. 4 points. And that all started by Queensland running the ball from their own try line. We'll be back with more action after the break. Mal Meninga has the ball set. If he kicks this Meninga, he'll join Michael O'Connor as the top point scorer in State of Origin football. O'Connor has 111. Meninga 109 points from 2 tries and 51 goals. Of course, one of those was a 3-point try back in the early 80s. Hits it. It's up and over. Queensland lead 6 points to 0. We'll be back in a moment. Well, after the kick-off, Bobby Lindner's made a mess of it. Just in from touch, he's dropped the ball into touch. 3 metres out from the try line. Here's the replay of Lindner. I think it was going to go out on the full. Bob tried to take it into touch. New South Wales with the feed 3 metres out from Queensland's line. And they've got possession with Hasler. And now New South Wales can get back into this game quickly if they hit back here. Queensland very sloppy from the kick-off on 2 occasions. 9 metres out, Fennick goes to dummy half as it goes to Dunn. He was missed in the tackle by Dan Staines, but he holds his ground. He'll play it to Farah. There's Miller. Clyde back to Daly. Can Vaughton get him? Still going, kicks ahead, and it'll go. No, it didn't go dead. Belcher had to help. It's on its way again. Just wouldn't take one more turn. The Queensland from the kickoff. Very lucky to get out of jail.
Yeah, sloppy play from Queensland on both occasions. Thankfully for the Maroons, their defence is holding up, though. They're tackling extremely well. Once again, New South Wales kicking before 6. They obviously just want to keep that pressure on. Don't necessarily have to have the ball in hand all the time, but just play it down in Queensland's territory and the points will come, I'm sure. That must be the philosophy they're working on.
Farah tackled. Fennick from dummy half. He's kept it alive for Jack. Gary Jack. Just outside the quarter. Now it's Fennick to Dunn. He's trying to put Clyde into a gap. Couldn't do so. Has to take the tackle of Staines. Miller hits it up. In comes Sirinen. He's held on to by Fortin. Also Lindner. Now Fennick. Cartwright, hands free. No.
The Maroons are starting to wait for them to come too.
It's against Miles. That's pretty good play from New South Wales. Miles was lying on the ground. They just deliberately played it back into his lap. That's fair enough. Lewis questioning it. Penalty New South Wales. 6-0 Queensland lead. Back in a moment. So here's Laurie Daly. He should be able to put first points on the board for New South Wales. In front. 14 metres out. But for his first kick in State of Origin football, he'll be pretty nervous just the same. The crowd not helping him. He's missed it. Laurie Daly has missed it right in front of the post. Oh, that'll be a confident shatterer for Daly. Queensland leads 6 points to 0. Lewis drops out. Down to the quarter where Jack waits for it. There's the quarter line chalk. Runs into Curry and Martin Bella. Done to Fennick. And he's through. The cover picks him up from behind with Vorton. Also in there was Walters. Now it's for Miller, and he's gone without it. That'll be Queensland's ball. Bobby Lindner picks it up on the halfway mark. Walters a dummy half, then to Miles, and Miles has a gallop.
Wally Lewis told him to run forward, take the ball up, said Lewis, and that's what Miles did.
Walters a dummy half. Bella hits it up on the short side. 8 metres inside New South Wales territory. Walters. Long passing now from Langer. Farah was a mile offside of the play, the ball. That was Farah you saw on the right-hand side of your screen. He was almost in the Queensland back line. Now Vorton hits it straight. Paul Vorton. Yes, Paul Vorton playing in his 18th game for the Maroons tonight as the vice-captain. Lewis dummies. Oh, nice pass to Staines. Curry, Hancock, and he's in. Oh, yes, Queensland are doing it well. Initiated by Wally Lewis. Finished off by Michael Hancock in his State of Origin debut. And Queensland lead by 10 points to 0.
Beautifully started by Wally Lewis, well read by Michael Hancock. He knew Curry was in a bit of strife as far as positioning him on the outside. He cut in, Curry knew what he was doing. There's the play, the ball. Lewis has found the gap, a half dummy. Found Dan Staines, great play from Dan Staines. There's Curry trying to line up Hancock. Hancock says no room out there, I'll go inside. Curry reads it inside to him, and in the tackle of Andrew Farah.
There's Lewis, but it's this pass to Staines. Now what's Curry, the best centre in Australia? Yes, Chris Johns gets him in, and Jack at the same time. Jack never had enough confidence in Chris Johns to stop Curry short of the line. Left his man unmarked, and there was the line open for Michael Hancock in State of Origin debut.
And it was actually Bradley Clyde who made that last-ditch tackle, but you'll think back to Vorton, who made a telling run early on, and it was Bradley Clyde who missed Fatty Vorton, put Queensland in that good position. How crucial was that miss by Laurie Daly? They've been patient in attack. They get their first chance to turn pressure into points. Laurie Daly fluffs it, and Queensland straight back 10-0.
Meninga. Well, that looks pretty good. That looks real good. A up and over. Queensland lead 12-0. We'll be back after this short break. Almost another mix-up in the in goal between Belcher and McIndoe. Belcher looked as though he was going to take it, but McIndoe eventually took it out of his in goal. So Queensland with a lead of 12 points to 0.
And let me tell you, there's depression on the New South Wales bench. Peter Moore in front of the dugout for New South Wales, and he is very depressed, and obviously they're feeling a pinch.
Kerrod Walters is away. Here's Meninga. Big Mel Meninga. Has he got the speed? Chicker Ferguson gets him from the far wing. Meninga's 5 metres short of the line. A quick play the ball to Langer. He gives it to Lewis. A long pass to Belcher. Gary Belcher. Back to Bella. Someone has to hit it straight. Miles will have to take the tackle. On the final one, Kerrod Walters sliced the Blues to ribbons. Now it goes away to Langer. What's he do? He chips and chases and gets there. Alan Langer's in. Oh, what a blinder the little fellow's having. Alan Langer. It's been all Langer from the kick-off, and Queensland lead by 16 points to 0.
And Hardy looking like something out of space. Doesn't afford himself a smile, but I bet you there's one inside. Alfie Langer, he always has a blinder as far as I can see. Sensational play, but that started again with Kerrod Walters. We've missed Walters, but there's that kick. Jack Gibson says Langer kicks to where the defence isn't. That's what he's done this time, and the pace off the mark, pace to burn.
And I'll tell you what, a fit Gary Jack would have got to that. Jack had time to get to that, and a fit Gary Jack would have made it. There wasn't enough desperation to dive from Jack.
Well, I wondered about Jack's fitness when I saw Terry Lamb beat him in the Canterbury-Balmain match the week before last. Gary Jack didn't miss the type of tackles he missed on that occasion last year when he was fit. When I saw that and then they picked him in the State of Origin, I wondered. And while you don't run on your arm, psychologically it's a problem, and he really should have got there, but superb play.
There's no doubt in my mind that Gary Jack would have got that being fit. No question at all.
Well, for those who can recall him chasing down Alan McIndoe down this touchline last year, that certainly rings true. But didn't it start with Kerrod Walters? The New South Wales defence as solid as yesterday's ice cubes up the middle.
And Kerrod Walters is in no way overcome by this situation. His first State of Origin, playing great football.
Meninga concentrating. It's over. And Queensland lead by 18 points to 0, about 10 minutes to half-time. Well, there's going to have to be a lot of character come out of the Blues now. An inexperienced pack. They've played so well, but two brilliant individual pieces by Langer. Add to that another piece of flair from Lewis. And the ball game's been turned around. Is that out in the fall? Yes, and I think that's the one Bobby Lindner probably should have let go earlier, and the Blues can't do anything right.
And it was Bobby Lindner that said to Martin Bella, leave it alone, and Bella did. So Lindner kind of made up for that error as it goes back to the Queenslanders on halfway.
So it'll be pressure from Lewis, the kick for touch.
Well, we've had just under half an hour's play. I wonder how the TAB New South Wales who gave Queensland 6.5 point start a feeling. I know it's early days, but 18-0 start to Queensland.
Now here comes Martin Bella, straight up the 22-metre line. Miles is looking to hit it up, or is he the decoy? No, he's the man in the hot seat, and he's popped up a loose one. It's gone backwards. Langer picks it up, kept alive to Belcher. And he'll stay in the field of play by a whisker. Hancock to Langer. Here's Borton. Oh, nice tackle, Paul Sirenen. That's copybook stuff from the big Balmain second rower. Now Lewis. Can he put someone into a gap? Meninga's held on to it. 15 metres out from the line. Lewis a dummy half. Dummies over to Langer. Someone will have to settle it. Walters does so. Now the final one. Lewis getting in a position to grab a kick. No. Langer's on his own again. Now that's gone dead of its own accord. That'll come back to the quarter. That wasn't touched. But by golly, Alan Langer, he's keeping these New South Wales backs hopping. Hasn't this fellow improved as a football in the last couple of years?
He's giving Des Hasler a heck of a lot of trouble tonight. It was Hasler that stopped his tracks on the follow-through, but it was accidental and certainly no penalty should have been incurred, and it wasn't.
The second time New South Wales from a tap-out have done a run-around, and they've done it behind the 22 line. I really can't see the advantage in trying something. I would take on the Queensland forwards. There hasn't been much of that.
Oh, Staines, good tackle on Dunn, and Dunn wanted to get rid of it to Farah. Now Fenwick, Surinen's going to hit it up. Yes, Paul Surinen taking on the Queensland defence. He's tackled by Staines and Lindner. Oh, Fenwick's made a meal of it. The Queensland were offside. But I don't think there's much doubt they're up inside the 5. But Fenwick made a meal of it just the same.
Zali beats, and I don't know how often I've seen a cap worn with a suit and tie, but looks quite fitting on Big Artie.
He can wear what he likes at the moment.
He's dead right.
His team's in front 18-0.
Wear a ham sandwich, he'll still be the most popular bloke at Lang Park.
And New South Wales, they have to get over before half-time. Chris Johns. Now he plays at the Lamb. Now Daly, I don't know whether Daly was supposed to get the ball or was supposed to end up with Jack. Jack thought it was supposed to end up with him. Daly took the tackle, and they just haven't got it right, the Blues. Fenwick takes it flat, outside the quarter. Done at dummy half, and Miller's running. And he's cut down by Staines. He has a quick play the ball, and off goes Johns inside the 22. Now it's for Ferguson to have a little scoot. And he's 13 metres out from the line on the final tackle. Is the kick on, or will they decide to run it? The kick will have to be on. Lamb puts it up, does his own chasing. Lewis shelters Belcher, and Belcher takes it well. Wally Lewis, the captain, put himself in front of his fullback to give him protection, and Belcher was able to take the football.
Yeah, Wally Lewis has copped one in the jaw in the meantime. He's up on his feet. I don't think it's too serious, but in fact, he looks okay now. He's taken the hand down, so thankfully no major injury, just one in the process of play. That sort of thing happens. Wally cops them every week.
Come on, guys, come on. They're frustrated, the Blues. Now, could you hear the call from Gavin Miller? Come on, fellas, line up. They can't drop their bundle, the Blues. This is the big league. This is the tough stuff. The young fellows have to keep going and learn. 18-0 they're down. That doesn't mean to say it's the ball game, because Bradley Clyde's ended up with a football, and the big fella's 10 metres outside the 22.
Great tackle from Surinen on Linden to make him spill that ball and put New South Wales back on attack.
Done. 27 metres out. Cartwright, haven't seen much of him, John Cartwright. Fenwick a dummy half. Terry Lamb always flashing up beside the ball carrier. He's got it now, Lamb. He's gone with Dunn on the short side. Borton's put him down. Last tackle, Lamb says, I'm going to put this in the air. He grubber kicks, and it's whose ball? Paul Borton's, I'd say. Looks a little bit worse for wear, Borton, but he plays it. And Belcher takes the tackle. Then about 5 minutes to the break. Queensland lead 18 points to 0. And there's a player down, Linden, I think it is. No, it's Kerrod Walters. Walters is down in back play, and New South Wales have come up with possession. And Queensland are a man down. Lamb grubber kicks this time. He fell from behind. Drop out from underneath the post. There's Kerrod Walters. Rod Tiley, have you got a better view from us? Obviously not.
Thank you, Alan. With me on the sideline is Peter Jackson. You've been out there before in State of Origin, mate. 18 points to 0. What a lead to have at this stage.
Oh, mate, they're playing great. I think they've just got too many options for New South Wales at this stage. You know, they just got too many attacking aces. We've seen Alfie put one on, and Alfie put two on. We've seen Wally put one on, and Kerrod Walters bust them, and, you know, Tony Curry's looking dangerous out wide. So, you know, I just think they're at 6s and 7s at the moment, the Blues.
And we've got a replacement, unfortunately. Kerrod Walters coming off. Trevor Gilmeister looks like he's on in 16, and Kerrod Walters certainly in a daze at the moment, but he had a great game so far.
Yeah, he might be just going to the head bin for 10 minutes. I think he looks a bit groggy around the head. Put Gilly on for 10 minutes. I'm sure Kerrett will be keen to get back on the paddock. He's going well. Like I said, he's going great so far.
Looks like he's into the head bin, back to the foot.
Lewis now trying to keep New South Wales trialless or scoreless to half-time as Gary Jack is tackled by Bobby Lindner. Dunn goes to dummy half. Now to Clyde. Lewis forces him back over the top, and underneath was Vaughton. Panics at dummy half. Oh, Dunn had no one running off him. Miller will run if he gets the football. There he is now. Sirenen. Here's the support play coming from Hasler. And here it goes back to Fennick. Fennick 5 metres out.
Great tackle, Wally Lewis.
Now he plays it. Lewis held his leg. 5 in the bin for Wally Lewis for a professional foul. New South Wales play on. Fennick's dropped the football. He's knocked it on. He's made a meal of it, Mario Fennick. And they can't do anything right, the Blues.
Well, it is just pure panic. And when they were down here last time, McIndoe dropped that ball once again on the second tackle. Terry Lamb kicks. Now, Queensland defence hasn't even been tested for more than 2 or 3 tackles. If they're not kicking, they're dropping the ball from dummy half.
So Gilmister wins his scrum as a hooker, and Langer takes it away at the back of the scrum. A couple of minutes to the break. Wally Lewis off in the sin bin for a professional foul for 5. Gary Belcher forced back by John Cartwright. Also Bradley Clyde. Now it's Martin Bella. Gilmister at dummy half for Miles. And Miles, big strong run. Now Gilmister, tackled by Farah. So who'll be the kicker? Looks to be Belcher now. That's an awkward one for Ferguson. Very awkward. He takes it well. Has he got any room to move? Oh, no. Beautiful tackle, Mal Meninga. Daly's down the short side. Meninga's after him. Jack's caught. He can't get the ball free. Alan McIndoe's put him on his pants at the halfway. And now Clyde, just over the halfway mark. There's been a little bit of with the clock here as it goes to Hasler. He's knocked it on. There's a knock on both ways. Clock, I'm not sure the scoreboard clock's right here at Lang Park. It's showing only 40 seconds to go. I think there's more than that. Looks to me around about 4 or 4.5 minutes. I think the clock's gone bung. It's 4 minutes to the break, says our official scorer, and that'll do me. Langer feeds, comes up with it, and takes the tackle of Miller and Lamb. Vaughton at dummy half. Sirenen pretty vigorous over the top, holding Vaughton down. Staines. It only has to be conventional stuff from Queensland to the break. Langer, Miles. Wally in the sin bin, but would be quite happy with the way things have progressed. Vaughton over the halfway mark.
Been impressive from Queensland since they've got to 18-0. They haven't tried to push the pass. They haven't tried things they shouldn't.
Here's McIndoe flying down after this loose ball. He scored! Alan McIndoe has scored! No risk. Oh, Chicka Ferguson has made a complete mess of it. No, he hasn't. He's ruled. It's no try that Ferguson touched it. Well, let's have a look at that again. It's a drop out from under the sticks. Let's have a look here. By golly, I don't know. From where I saw it, I reckon McIndoe scored that. That's half-time anyway. Whoa, blimey.
Well, let me tell you that David Manson was the man who made the decision. The touch judge from Queensland, he was the fella that told Mick Stone that it was off the Ferguson hand that the ball was touched down. So it was Manson in charge of that decision on the sideline.
At half-time, Queensland lead 18 points to 0. We'll be back after a break.
half of rugby league, 40 minutes of tremendous action. OK, let's have a look at the half-time statistics as they stand. And the penalties 4-all, the scrums 4-2 to Queensland. 3 tries to Queensland by McIndoe, Hancock and Langer. And a close one there to Alan McIndoe. Looked like a try to me. 3 goals to the Maroons in Mal Meninga, giving them a half-time scoreline of 18 points to 0. Let's have a look at the tackle count. And Paul Vaughton leads that with 13, and Kerrod Walters has 11. For New South Wales, Miller 12 and Paul Dunn 10. Half-time, Queensland leading by 18 points to 0. Let's have a look at the action from that first 40 minutes.
And the Blues are offside by a mile. Langer comes up. He's been interfered with, taps it and plays on. Alan Langer, long pass. McIndoe. Alan McIndoe, and he's in. Alan McIndoe in. Alan Langer put the try down to the little boy. Lewis dummies. Oh, nice pass to Staines. Curry, Hancock, and he's in. Kerrod Walters sliced the Blues to ribbons. Now it goes away to Langer. What's he do? He chips and chases and gets there. Alan Langer's in. Oh, what a blinder the little fellow's having. Alan Langer. It's been all Langer from the kick-off, and Queensland lead by 16 points to 0.
Been impressive from Queensland since they've got to 18-0. They haven't tried to push the pass. They haven't tried things they shouldn't.
Here's McIndoe flying down after this loose ball. He's scored! Alan McIndoe has scored! No risk. Oh, Chicker Ferguson has made a complete mess of it. No, he hasn't. He's ruled. It's no try that Ferguson touched it.
That'll be much talked about in discussions after the match. We'll take a short break, back with the second half. First State of Origin encounter for 1989. A rosy picture at Lang Park. Queensland up 18-0 at half-time. Let's go to the sideline. Here's Rod Tiley.
Thank you, Chris. Well, what a beauty we've got. It's an 18-point nil lead, as you said, and a controversial decision that kept a try from Queensland. With me is State of Origin referee of some great matches in Barry Gomersall. Barry, your thoughts on that decision?
Right, I think that decision was a bloody great decision, pardon my French, from Mick Stone. Simple case, you always check with your touch judge first to make that decision. Mick checked with his touch judge. His touch judge said no, it was touched by New South Wales. I think it was a great piece of refereeing, and it sort of kicks the two-referee bit in the backside where it belongs.
So, in your opinion, the right decision made. How about the football?
The football has been absolutely fantastic. As predicted, the New South Wales side are having problems. 6 new guys in there, no cohesion, which the Queenslanders have. Queensland are going well. They've got 3 tries in. The boys are performing together. They have that cohesion. 18-0 at half-time. I think it'll be a bigger margin at the end of the game.
Barry, how are you enjoying watching State of Origin from the Frank Burke stand?
Right, it's unreal. I've suddenly found out it's much more enjoyable watching from the grandstand than it is out in the middle.
Barry Gomersall, ladies and gentlemen. And as far as the coaches are concerned, well, they both think they can win. Back to AT and the football.
Well, Jack Gibson must be an optimist. Well, I suppose 18 points to 0. It's not the biggest hurdle, I suppose, that other teams have overcome in football, but in State of Origin, it's a big ask, Andrew.
Yes, well, Queensland had a similar margin last year in the first State of Origin game, and New South Wales did get back, albeit it was fairly late in the game, but they won't want to, from a Queensland point of view, New South Wales won't want to score early, because 18-6, it's only 2 tries, and, you know, Jack Gibson's right when he says they can win from here.
And you can see how Queensland have gained through their forwards, the meterage, as the players return to the field for the second half, given a big round of applause by this Lang Park crowd in excess of 31,500. There's the man, Alan McIndoe, on the right-hand side of your screen now, centre screen. He put on the pace to just fail to score a try right on half-time as the Blues come back.
One test for Jack Gibson in the second half will be how he uses his 4 reserves, bearing in mind this is the first match in which 4 reserves are allowed. He's got 4, but he's got 3 of those players as backs and only 1 forward, that forward being Glenn Lazarus. We'll see when he uses them and how he uses them.
Wally Lewis still has 2.5 minutes to serve in the sin bin. There's John Ferguson. He was a little bit lackadaisical just before half-time, but he got away with it. And David Manson ruled he'd touched the ball in front of Alan McIndoe. And that will be disputed, I'd say, for some time. Gary Belcher kicks off. Second half, Queensland in front, 18-0. Gary Jack gives it to Sirinen. Kerrod Walters is also back out of the head bin and on the park. Done. Cartwright. Farah. That's over Belcher's head. He'll have to run back. Bradley Clyde's chasing, so is Daly. And that's a good kick from Andrew Farah. With Queensland inside their own 22. McIndoe takes it up from dummy half. New South Wales are a mile offside. They play the ball. Weren't even back 3 metres, the Blues. Meninga.
I can't recall a Queensland forward, or back for that matter, being driven back in the tackles tonight. There's a good one, mind you, from Bradley Clyde, but it hasn't been the hard-hitting stuff I'm sure Jack Gibson would have wanted.
Bella takes it up. Good defence from New South Wales. Queensland haven't gone far. The kick will be on. Paul Vaughton deciding to show his expertise and gives it a good thump. Jack takes it, as you'd expect the Australian fullback to do. Dan Staines cuts him down 10 metres shy of the halfway.
And that was tactics from Artie Beetson. He said in the dressing room, cut your mistakes inside your own quarter. When you're down there, get rid of the ball.
Daly wrapped up by Bella. Now Fennick done. One-hander back to Fennick, back to Daly. And the big centre's on the halfway peg. Lamb, Miller, Ferguson, missed by Meninga, the ball's gone loose. Oh, Johns has held the Queensland player without the football. That should have been a penalty, Queensland. Martin Bella was grabbed by the jersey by Chris Johns when he was going for the football.
Probably should have been a penalty earlier to New South Wales, because Queensland, like New South Wales, and when Queensland had the ball, were up offside. They were 2 or 3 metres from the play of the ball. So Nick Stone letting a little bit go from the offside on both sides.
Horton, Lewis returning to the paddock. That was the reason for the cheer. Now Langer gives it to Meninga. Now that's knocked on by Queensland. That's the type of football they don't need to play.
As Bradley Clyde gets more and more into the game, the better he gets. It was again one of his tackles which forced that mistake from Meninga.
There's Clyde. Staines underneath. Now to Miller. Sirinen. Nice tackle from Miles. Fennick again. Over to Miller. Did well to take it, Gavin Miller. And paid dearly for the fumble. Lindner got him. Dunn. Just don't look to be creative enough, the New South Wales forwards. Now Lamb. The kick's on. Who's covering? Belcher.
Obviously good calling from Queensland then. Hancock was coming in from the ball for the ball. He must have heard Belcher and did a right angle turn. Belcher took it safely.
Yes, good call, Gary Belcher. Gavin Miller still not with us quite as yet.
Bella. Over the halfway.
Worked hard, Martin Bella.
Lewis. Vaughton. Oh, good hit from Vaughton. Right on John Cartwright. Now back to Miles, and the big fella's let up. Towering one go. Over Jack's head. Sits up for him. Now will Langer get him? No, he won't. And Gary Jack is cut down from behind by Dan Staines. Hasler's going to take it up, but Farah decides to run on his own, and Staines again the tackler. He'll have to stand this time, Andrew Farah, and play it. Miller, he's only got one player, Clyde rather's lost the football. And he only had one player outside of him. Bradley Clyde, he ran to the right side of the ground and had one supporter. Langer, Lewis, back to Langer. Takes the tackle of Gary Jack. Now it's Lindner from dummy half. Good strong run from Lindner outside the 22. Walters. Langer. Whoops, no. New South Wales ball. Fennick over to Chris Johns.
Looking for work, Chris Johns.
Now Sirinen. Played strongly, Paul Sirinen. Here's Cartwright. Now Fennick through Hasler and Lamb. Farah can't get past Miles, standing out wide. Lamb, big kick, out on the full by the proverbial Mile.
And once again, Lamb kicking from dummy half, and a penalty to Queensland. Well, the changeover, rather on the sixth tackle, Queensland take the tackle, Paul Borton. But Lamb putting, again, pressure on himself by taking that. I think he'd be better off standing back from the play of the ball, let Mario Fennick throw the pass to him, and then try his kicking.
Dan Staines taking it up. I don't know how long it's going to be before Mick Stone pings Andrew Farah for offside. He's done a Mick Cronin special here tonight. That's not being disrespectful to Mick, but he was a genius at the offside play, Mike Cronin. I think Andrew Farah's taken a leaf out of his book. Now Lewis. Nice tackling from Siren, but he's got the pass back to Belcher. Now Queensland have to just steady things down. They're leading 18-0, the Queenslanders. They don't need to do anything flash. Langer wasn't expecting it. Final tackle on its way.
Just getting a little clumsy around the ruck, the Queenslanders. Just settling play is what they need.
Lewis putting it behind Jack, but it's going to go over the sideline in goal. Well, I wonder which team's winning this match, Andrew.
Well, you wouldn't know from Dick Turner, the Queensland manager, or from Arthur Beetson. I think they'll save their smiles for full time.
So once again, the same move. It goes to Dunn. He's upended by Martin Bella. I wonder how long it'll be before Gibson brings on someone like Alexander as Fennick strides away and Daly tries to get with him.
And that's how a lock is supposed to cover defend. Bob Lindner, beautiful tackle.
Here's Ferguson down the short side. Dummies. Picked up by Belcher. New South Wales outside the 22. Miller runs at the blind side. He's missed by Lindner. Still going Miller. Back to Daly. And it's over the top. Touch by Clyde. Picked up by Queensland, and Dan Staines and New South Wales have made a mess of it. Now quick hands will see Queensland out wide. Borton's playing safety football.
Yes, took the right option.
Now Miles. Oh, great tackle, Bradley Clyde. We're going to hear a lot of this, boy. And here's Walters. Back to Langer. And he'll take the tackle. Miles at dummy half. Over to Lewis. And he's kicked it straight down. The centre. Does a leg break for Chris Johns. Picks it up. They all wait for him. They don't get him. Hancock, well, his Bronco teammate.
His limited opportunities, Chris Johns has been most impressive tonight. If they'd have been able to hold on to the ball for a bit longer and use him on the wing, I'm sure he would have been destructive, but he has played well.
Fennick getting to his feet slowly. Oh, Dunn hit hard by Bella and Borton. Now Hasler. Nice tackle from Dan Staines. Now it's Clyde. Away to Mario Fennick.
Standing very flat, the New South Wales forwards.
Can't find a runner. No one seems to want the ball from the Blues. Desi Hasler taking it up far too often.
So Miller's put in the left footer. Who calls for it? Belcher is going for it with McIndoe. They've dropped it. This will be a try. If they pick it up, they can't. 6 to go, and Gary Belcher races away. New South Wales only had to pick up the ball. They're over the try line, and they've made a mess of that. And Terry Lamb has still yet to score a point in State of Origin football.
Yeah, Queensland lucky to get away with that. I would be certain as a penalty comes there, Gavin Miller getting a little excited in the play of the ball. And that's not the sort of thing New South Wales can afford when they're putting pressure on. But back to that high kick, and surely Belcher would have called. McIndoe seemed a bit excited about it, tried to go in, got in Belcher's way, and Queensland very fortunate to get out of it. New South Wales had Queensland pinned down, and then a silly penalty from the man least likely to give it, the captain. Queensland back in New South Wales half, or almost on halfway, attacking.
Greg Alexander will come on for New South Wales.
Bella, Martin Bella, the big fellows. A gain of 20 metres, and now Miles is going to hit it up, but Walters goes on his own.
Glenn Lazarus is here as well. The 15 and 16. Gibson makes his changes.
Now Bobby Lindner. Just outside the 22. Walters away to Langer. Lewis back to Langer. Inside to Belcher. Tackled by Fennick. Now it goes to outright to Bella, inside to Michael Hancock. Hancock is only 10 metres out from the line. Queensland get up and play the ball. Lewis, Belcher, back to Lewis, He's got the pass to Miles, over it goes to Mel Meninga. Big Mel returns to Lane Park with a try. Queensland keep it alive, and that's the end of New South Wales. They're shot turkey here tonight. Mel Meninga in to score. Queensland lead by 22 points to 0.
Well, if you want to see a showpiece of rugby league skills, just keep replaying that game. That's outstanding rugby league. Before that, Bella had passed beautifully to Michael Hancock. He'd come inside. Lewis doubling around Belcher. Throws a half dummy on the inside. Then Miles, the old basketball pass, which he's so good at, and his former centre partner, Mel Meninga, stakes his return with another try to take him well and truly into the lead in the Origin scorers. There's the pass. Belcher comes back inside, but because Lewis has doubled around, the play's kept alive. At that stage, Miles is on the inside. He knows he's got no future. Gets on the outside. Basketball pass to good support. Meninga in.
Okay, 22-0. We'll be back after the break. Meninga is just going to push this away to the left, so it's no goal. And Queensland lead 22 points to 0. And Jack Gibson's made his changes. John Cartwright has left the field. So has Bradley Clyde. Alexander's there in 15. Glenn Lazarus in 16. And there's another one coming on. Andrew Eddinghausen's on and Andrew Farrer's off. So Gibson making 3 changes all at once.
And probably it'll be Des Hasler at lock, I would say, and the innovative Greg Alexander at halfback. Let's see how they work it.
Daly kicks off. Belcher. McIndoe. Nice tackle from Alexander. Now Miles. Tackle by Lazarus. Walters now a dummy half for Dan Staines. And he gets to the 22. Martin Bella has led from the front. Only 18 months ago, he was fighting to get into the team. Vaughton. In this game, he was an automatic selection. Martin Bella, he's the forward leader. And he's led like great forwards do from the front. Lewis. Jack. Oh, nice tackle from Tony Curry. Finished off by Hancock. Now Daly. And he's hitting a great tackle from Bob Limner. Drove him backwards. Where's Lazarus? There he is. The big fellow. Another man from the Canberra area. Daly has to kick. He's got no one out there on his own. Plays it back to Jack. Here's Chris Johns.
Chris Johns again having to look for work. Paul Vaughton stopping that. Finneck now doing most of the dummy half work as Miller throws a short pass.
Daly crunched in the tackle. Now Bob Lindner is down and back to play.
I think it's Tony Curry.
It's Tony Curry in number 3.
And seems to have a wrist or an arm injury.
Paul Vaughton takes it forward. Plays it to Walters. To Staines.
Done everything well tonight, Staines. He's tackled well, he's supported well, he's taken the ball up. Everything you could ask of.
Now Langer and to Belcher. The kick's on. The chase is from McIndoe. Ferguson, will he make the same mistake twice? No, he won't. He's a little bit more desperate, Chicker Ferguson. And he dives on the ball with McIndoe screaming down his neck. Jack can't get away from Walters. Fennick over to Dunn.
There's not much pattern there for the Blues.
Tony Curry back on his feet. He's right.
Sirenen, underneath was Staines, halted his progress, and over the top. To finish him off came Bob Lindner.
Sirenen's been the best New South Wales forward by street.
Lazarus. Just short of the halfway mark, the Blues. Here's Hasler. It's caught by Staines, and it's going to be knocked on by Dunn. Picked up by Lewis. Given away to Tony Curry. Here comes the cover. It's gone out wide to Hancock. He comes infield. He does the right thing. Back to Vaughton. Vaughton hangs on to the football. Oh, the experience of Paul Vaughton. That's what Queensland needed there. Someone just to steady the ship. New South Wales have got there and cover. Queensland held the football. Bobby Lindner. He's got the speed, has he? He's thrown it forward, I think. Was that a try to Mel Meninga? It's a try. Nick Stone's awarded the try. Bobby Lindner's cut them open. Big Mel's back up on the inside. Try number 2, Mel Meninga. I thought it may have been a fraction forward. Queensland lead 26 points to 0, and the Blues are copping a thrashing.
Bob Lindner just striding through tackles to set that up. That's very, very brittle defence from New South Wales. Here it comes to Lindner there, well on the other side of the post. Gets away from one, away from Hasler. Finds the hole as Daly comes in. He gives up. The dive came from Paul Siren, and it was too late as Mel Meninga read it, got on the inside of Lindner. 2 tries within the space of a few minutes. Now here Langer gets it to Lindner, and this is where the bad defence comes in. There's Sirenen's missed him initially. There's Hasler's missed him, and he's found the hole. At this stage, Sirenen's come back, but not quickly enough. Meninga's read it beautifully, and how many times tonight have we seen that reading of play so well by the supporting players, getting inside and the skills holding up?
Mel looks a little bit tickled with his 2-try effort. Mario Fenech shakes his head and says, what the hell am I doing here? Gavin Miller puts the hands on the hips and says, well, I don't have the answers. Paul Dunn says, oh, well, there's something wrong with my lip. And Chrissy John says, I wish I was playing in the maroon jersey.
And I'll tell you what, Artie Beetson's about to make some changes as well. We've got Gary Coyne on his feet. The jacket off from Dale Shearer.
Meninga to try and convert his own try. And it's away. No goal. Queensland lead 26-0. Back in a moment. Bob Lindner takes the ball from the kickoff. Runs it outside his own 22. New South Wales a mile offside. They play the ball. Although I must admit he's been a little bit lenient, Mick Stone, in the play the ball on both sides. Here's Bella. Just made it to the advantage line before he was met by Siren and Dunn.
Well, there's been plenty as the penalty goes to Queensland from Dunn, and he's getting spoken to from Mick Stone. Obviously a little bit of to do in that play the ball. The New South Wales players showing their frustration, and why not? There's Paul Dunn, won the man of the match in the grand final last year as a prop between Canterbury Balmain, and Canterbury of course won. He's not going to win any man of the match awards tonight.
And Mortimer about to come on for the Blues. This will be their last change.
Well, you wonder if this will help the Blues. Chris Mortimer's played 7 games for New South Wales in State of Origin. They've won 6 of them. I think it could be 6 out of 8 tonight.
So Walters now dummy half, and he scoots. He scoots. Miles. And stays in the field of play by a centimetre. Now it Staines at dummy half. Over to Lang. It's touched by New South Wales. Lewis. So there's 5 left for the Maroons. I think they can snip another try. He's just around the corner. Now Walters. Over to Bella, hitting it up. 10 metres out from the try line. Kerrod Walters goes to dummy half. Langer, Borden, Langer, long one outside to Curry. Then it goes to Hancock. And he'll be tackled by Andrew Eddinghausen. Also Terry Lamb. He plays it back to Langer. Over to Meninga. Touched by New South Wales. Belcher. Out it goes. Miles. Yes, it goes to Bobby Lindner. Over for the try. Queensland doing it in style. New South Wales just don't have the answers. Bobby Lindner in the score. 30 points to 0.
And look at the beautiful hands of Gary Belcher in this replay as we see a few Alan Langers in the crowd. And Gene Miles, who's had a sensational game. Anybody worrying about him in the second row, they can allay their fears. There's Meninga again pushing off Des Hasler. There's got a one-handed away to Lewis. And that's pick up by Belcher, which sends Mile in the clear. Beautifully drawn. There's his centre skills. Bobby Lindner strolls over. A well-deserved try. They are sensational. And here we are from front on. Let's go back to prior to that play the ball. Michael Hancock showing no inexperience, has come inside. He could have easily been tackled over the touchline. And there's the great hands from Belcher on to Miles. Miles says, now I've got 2 players outside. Who do I want to give the try to? My forward mate, Bob Lindner, will do.
See, he can pass conventionally, Gene Miles. A lot of people think he's forgotten how. 30 points to 0. Well, Jack Gibson has got his problems for the second match at the cricket ground in a fortnight's time, or the stadium rather.
Well, they talked about picking these two teams. They said New South Wales have gone on form and Queensland have gone experience. The crucial thing is Queensland's experience was added to by the form of their experienced players. They weren't picked for being experienced, they were picked because they had good form, and they were experienced. And here comes one of their most experienced.
Meninga, is that coming back? It's hit the post and in! Hit the post and in, 32 points to 0, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
He's the man replaced for the Blues.
So Queensland in possession now with McIndoe. Paul Siren has been replaced by Chris Mortimer. Mortimer's wearing 17. Staines. Back to Martin Bella, over to Miles. And he's on the quarterway. This could be somewhat of a record-scoring winning margin. Andrew Slacker, this keeps up.
Seems highly likely. Plenty of time left, and Queensland just going from better to getting better and better every minute. They certainly aren't throwing it in, and I'm sure they'll be determined that New South Wales don't cross the try line. They'll want a nil beside New South Wales at full time.
Well, New South Wales are inside the quarter with Dunn. They've got their chance to get on the scoreboard now, the Blues. Can they finish off with something as Gary Jack takes it? He's only 10 metres out. Fennick goes to dummy half. Alexander setting up Lamb, but Lewis has got hold of him. He got away, was finished off by Tony Curry.
Keep him out, yells Wally Lewis.
Lazarus. 5 metres out on the final tackle. Do they run? Do they kick? Miller kicks for Eddinghausen. That's a try. Gavin Miller, clever play, kick for Andrew Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen in to score. The Blues get on the board. Queensland lead 32 points to 4.
Well, the short kick had to work sooner or later. I'm sure they didn't want it to be 32-0, and Jack Gibson, I don't think it's impressed him. He's got the golf cap on, and I think he'd probably rather be on the course. Dark or not, there's Eddinghausen fresh on only some minutes ago, scoring the try, but obviously far too late. But after that try was scored, Wally Lewis complained bitterly to referee Mick Stone, obviously believing that Andrew Eddinghausen was in front of Gavin Miller when he kicked it. But it's on the scoreboard now, and that will disappoint the Queenslanders. They would have wanted to kept it to 0. Of course, that's too late now, but 28 points in front. They're safe.
So Daly has kicked none out of 1, and believe it or not, this is harder than his first one. But he might have settled down a little bit, Laurie Daly. Strikes it well. 32 points to 6 Queensland lead. We'll be back in a moment. So Lewis kicks off. Johns plays it 10 metres out from his own line. Dunn. Well, you'd think, Andrew, there'd have to be wholesale changes for the second match at the stadium.
Yes, I think it brings up the question about this availability of representative players. You've got Wayne Pearce and Peter Sterling saying they don't want to go to New Zealand with the Australian team. They become ineligible for New South Wales. Now, the rugby league fans want to see New South Wales best against Queensland best, or they just want to see the ones eligible for selection. I think they want to see the best. It's a shame that the ruling is such that Pearce and those sort of characters can't be playing.
Now, these players are a mile offside New South Wales. Belcher's taken it. They were all in front of the kicker. But Belcher took the ball. Yes, I remember Jack Gibson saying in an interview once, he said, I'm going to play Queensland with my team. They've got Wally Lewis and Alan Langer on the field, and I'll have my two best, Peter Sterling and Wayne Pearce, in the grandstand.
Yeah, so it's a fair point, and I really don't think the rugby league public are being treated fairly on that issue.
So Gene Miles takes it over the halfway mark. Dale Shearer revving up on the sideline. Lewis for touch. Ferguson will have to run. Picks it up. And tackled by Mel Meninga. Only 5 metres out from his line. Gary Jack gives it away to Mortimer. He's missed by Bella, but he won't be missed by Vaughton. Chris Johns. Good play from Johns. He hasn't done anything wrong tonight, Chris Johns. He'll be in the next lineup. Dunn. Alexander, away to Lamb, over to Daly. He's running to Wally Lewis, but he's got the pass back to Hasler. Fennick, and back it goes to Mortimer.
Outstanding defence from Queensland all over the park.
So what do the Blues do on the final tackle? Johns is tackled. That's the changeover. Ferguson's down injured.
Dislocated finger for Ferguson. It's just been put back in.
Curry plays it away. It goes to Bella. Just hits it up towards the quarter line. 32 points to 6 is the lead for Queensland. Now Vorton, non-stop tryer, Paul Vorton. He's taken it away from him, has Des Hasler. Over to Lamb. Oops. Eddinghausen just holding it, and he's almost away. Now Hasler. Fennick. And there's no other runner around from Fennick. He had to take the tackle of Martin Bella on his own. Alexander away to Dunn. Hands free. Mortimer. Hot potato. Back to Lazarus. He throws it on the grounds to Chris Johns. Chris Mortimer. Oh, Miller back to Hasler. Walters has got him. That was almost forward, I'd say, to Dunn. And the Queensland defence has got New South Wales lock, stock and barrel here. That's forward and knocked on. This Maroon defence tonight's been outstanding.
Well, full credit to Artie Beetson and Wally Lewis, because they're the men who are mainly responsible for Queensland keeping going in these situations. So easy when you've got a game won, which Queensland have done, to slacken off in your defence. But it just seems to have got better.
So Lewis has flipped it to Langer, and Meninga's got room. No, he hasn't. Daly's got the big fellow and puts him into touch. Good work from Daly. Meninga's hurt too, I think. I think it's his head, not his arm. If it's his head, he'll be all right. So with 10 minutes remaining, 32 points to 6. Queensland lead.
Hasn't been an outstanding effort from Mel Meninga. He's come back 4 times from broken arms, and I guess a lot of people had him written off, but tonight, outstanding display, 16 points already.
So here's Jack. Eddinghausen with speed. And has he got all the speed? No, he's kicked ahead. How's the bounce? The bounce is with Queensland. Tony Curry. Oh, what speed and determination from Tony Curry to save the day. And what about great cover from Belcher on Eddinghausen?
Well, the bounce might have been with Queensland, but it wouldn't have meant anything if it weren't for the commitment. Firstly, from Belcher on that tackle, a lovely little kick from Eddinghausen. Those players were right full belt, but Curry just threw his body in front of Chris Johns. Touchdown. Great play.
A couple of changes. We've got Gary Coyne on in the Queensland forwards. Dale Shearer's on. Coming off, Gene Miles and Alan McIndoe.
The applause for the Queenslanders leaving the field, McIndoe and Miles. There's the dropout to Terry Lamb. He chips ahead. Belcher takes it. Well, that was a nothing sort of a kick and chase from Lamb. And I guess with only about 8 minutes remaining, down 32 to 6, anything's worth a go.
You've got to try something, but they must be a bit nervous as Gary Coyne takes his first tackle in State of Origin. Former Queensland country representative from Ipswich. He's gone down to Canberra and come on in leaps and bounds, and well deserved to be in this side tonight. Queensland have brought on Dale Shearer as a reserve. 32-6, New South Wales will see the scoreboard. Shearer walks on, the leading highest try scorer for Queensland in State of Origin with 8.
Curry. Hancock inside. Takes the tackle on the halfway mark. He has shown maturity beyond his years tonight, Michael Hancock. Dale Shearer away to Langer. Now Lewis. Coyne. Dale Shearer. Dale Shearer. Can he get rid of it? It's touched. And it'll be New South Wales ball. Let's go to the sideline, and here's Rod Tiley.
And one of the men just replaced is Gene Miles. A great effort, mate. A big win coming up for Queensland. How does that feel?
Oh, it's a great feeling anytime you beat New South Wales, Rod. But, you know, I think there's 1,700 hungry red jerseys out there at the moment. And, you know, the crowd's right behind us, and it's a great feeling.
Mate, you've been in a lot of these. How does it rate as far as toughness is concerned?
Well, the scoreboard is probably the nicest side I've ever seen in a State of Origin match. But toughness, you know, they're all very tough, and this certainly is no exception.
Let's get back to it. Good on you, Gino.
Michael Hagan just on screen. Be lovely to see him come on in his State of Origin debut. Been in fine form for Newcastle. He's a fine player. Now Belcher. Well, Dale Shearer's come on and liven up the joint in a hurry. Dale Shearer has scored 40 points in State of Origin football with 8 tries. He almost made it 9.
Michael Hagan on the sideline in his number 15 maroon jersey, about to come on.
Coyne. Now it goes to Bella. And he's lost the football. Hasler pinched it. Must have been a knock-on in there somewhere. Now Michael Hagan's come on and Paul Vaughton, I think, is leaving the field. Here's the applause for Vaughton. Scrum packs. Alexander, Jack. Couldn't get his hands free. Lewis smothered the football.
Michael Hagan making the tackle as well. 24-year-old. He's already won 2 premierships with Canterbury, of course now with Newcastle Knights, and now representing Queensland.
So it's Alexander at dummy half. To Miller. Outside to Lamb. And he's tackled by Kerrod Walters. Eddinghausen at dummy half. Miller wraps around him and back to Eddinghausen. And he goes to ground under Tony Curry's tackle. Now Fennick. Up it goes from Lamb. It's high. New South Wales are a mile offside. Penalty Queensland. Let's go to the sideline, and Rod Tiley's got another Queensland star with him.
Paul Vaughton, another second rower, just replaced Paul. As far as the game is concerned, we won it in the forwards. What did we do so right and the Blues do so wrong?
Well, we're a good side, and we've been together for a long time. We've got a lot of team spirit, and we just stuck together in those forwards and took the ball, actually, you know, running hard and straight and made yards.
The yards you made pretty easy, and a couple of runs you really stuck it into them, and it obviously they were bouncing off you.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising. Actually, we all run hard, but they were falling off tackles, and maybe it's not the great New South Wales side that we all thought it would be.
Great effort, mate. Well done.
Yeah, it's good to be a Queenslander.
Well, fancy that coming from the voice of Paul Vaughton. He is a Queenslander through and through. Walters tackled. Langer long pass to Hagan. Now Meninga. Out to Curry. Back to Meninga. Big Mel Meninga. Over the top it goes to Belcher. Back to Hagan. Can he keep it alive? Jack's knocked it on. Play on. Michael Hancock. Over. Michael Hancock over in the corner. Queensland.
The problem of going over the sideline and gets in the corner. There's Mel's big break. Terry Lamb, no thanks, pal. You won't tackle me. The inside pass, the skill level's been so good today. Here we go with Belcher. He's looking for somebody. He always finds somebody. It's Michael Hagan. He waits and then throws the big overhead. It's knocked down by a New South Wales player, and then Michael Hancock comes into his own. John, he said, I'm going to stop you, but he's not right. And there, look, he knows where the sideline is. Beautiful play, Hancock.
What a good try that was from Michael Hancock. That is a winger's try. A centimetre to move in against a pretty formidable opponent in Chris Johns, and he's got the ball down.
Summed it up perfectly. A winger's try.
36 points to 0. To 6, I should say. $36 points to 6. Meninga hits it. How's it look? No goal. 36 to 6 it is. Let's go again to the sideline, and here's Rod Tiley.
And in defence as well as attack, it's been a super performance, mate. It's been great to be a Queenslander.
Mate, I can only say one thing. I really don't regret the job that you've got tomorrow editing the news for all those Queensland tries.
It's always a great feeling after the game to talk to the guys, to sap up the energy, the excitement, the euphoria. And I doubt there'll be a happier Queensland side anywhere at any time than what we'll see after tonight's game, Rod.
Let's go enjoy the celebrations, Bruffy.
Good on you. Thanks, Rod.
In the final 2 minutes of the match, the Emperor once again, Lang Park is his pride and joy. It's his haven, Lewis. And he's done it tonight. with the help of 16 other players. And it's been a real team effort, capped off by a couple of individual pieces of work by Langer. Some great work on the forwards. And in the dying minutes, I can tell you, as New South Wales come away with Fenwick, it's back over the top to Lazarus. They keep it alive, right on the quarter line. That the man of the match is the Queensland front rower, Martin Bella, and that's the third consecutive time that a front rower has won the man of the match award. Sam Bacco won the last two, and Martin Bella tonight has led from the front, the leader of the pack, as I call him, as Daly drops the football. Queensland's possession with the changeover, and I don't think anyone would dispute Martin Bella's performance tonight, Andrew Slack.
No, of course not, but it's cliched, I guess, but really there were 13 men of the matches for Queensland out there. Everybody played superbly. If you'd have given it to Alan Langer, I don't guess you'd have got much argument. If you'd given it to Gene Miles or Wally Lewis, it was a sensational effort from Queensland. Artie Beetson, it doesn't strike you as a fellow who's going to give you fire and brimstone or be the most tactical person in the world, but gee, doesn't he get them to perform? Outstanding performance from all the Queenslanders. New South Wales disappointing. They seem to lack pattern. Ferguson and Johns tried hard on the wings, but you can't do much out there when the people up front aren't doing it.
So in the dying seconds, on the final tackle, Langer kicks it for Ferguson, and that's knocked on. That's full time. They won't have time to pack the scrum. What a great win this has been for Queensland tonight. 36 points to 6. Mal Meninga shakes hands with Gary Jack. What a return to Lang Park since 1986 for big Mal Meninga. Gary Jack, probably not match fit. Laurie Daly, what a way to start your State of Origin debut with a hiding. Alan Langer, brilliant. Bobby Lindner's defence outstanding. And when he ran with the football, he ran with it. Des Hasler tried hard. Dale Shearer electrifying in the final minutes when he got a run. The two Manly teammates walk off together. They'll team up for club football at the weekend. Wally Lewis surrounded by photographers, as is Mal Meninga. The Queenslanders soak it all up. Going over to thank the public, the 31,500 fans who supported them. And there were some fine performances as we go down to Rod Tiley.
And with me is the man of the match, Martin Bella. He led from the front. Martin, I know you want to get back to your teammates, mate, but just say a couple of words for us. A great victory.
Mate, that's the most fantastic thing I've ever seen. That's great. Especially like there's been change in the side. Mate, we're a mob of mates and we did it for each other. And all people out there, thank you.
Okay, Martin Bella. Well, obviously keen to get back to the teammates. I'll just try and get over and grab Wally Lewis if I can, because he's keen to get his Queenslanders off, but as he does so, just let me grab Wally, because that was one magnificent performance. Wally Lewis, you've played in a lot of Queensland victories, and that was just sensational.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, Rod, was it?
I thought so.
Yeah, our blokes are pretty pleased, but we were very happy with the way they started out. I mean, we were under a bit of pressure. We put them under a bit of pressure the first 10. They turned it around up to about the halfway mark. And then we managed to kick away, and it was certainly a great performance.
Artie Beetson back coaching them. You've really done him proud.
Yeah, mate, about the only thing we're dirty on Artie. There's not enough food around the table to get the rest of us.
Well, hope you can have a good feed and a good drink tonight.
Thanks, Rod.
Well, I'm sure that they can put the food bill on Artie's tab at the hotel. I'm sure Artie won't mind. So once again, Wally Lewis leads his team, or the team leads Wally off this time. There he is, centre screen. Being surrounded by the electronic media. And I guess he's a player that, when his football days are over, Andrew, will sit back and remember the Wally Lewis era, the Queensland era, the Wayne Bennett and Arthur Beetson eras, particularly here at Lang Park.
Yes, and deservedly, he can sit back in his retirement when that comes within the next couple of years and I guess gloat on all of that. But there's another man coming up along who I think will take that mantle very easily. That's his halfback partner, Alan Langer.
Let's go again to Rod Tiley.
Okay, there's just a lot of very excited and very happy Queenslanders around today. Mel Meninga's one of them, mate. Welcome back to State of Origin football.
Thanks very much. It's good to be back.
Obviously pleased with your performance and that of the team, but to score a couple of tries in front of the home crowd must have been sweet.
It was a great feeling, a good team effort tonight. All I did was had to latch on a couple of good balls and score out wide unopposed, but I was pretty pleased to cross that line.
The New South Wales backs never really saw much of the ball, and obviously you played all over the top of them.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. I didn't get much of the ball, but our defence I thought was terrific tonight, and they weren't going anywhere. They just kept on taking up to the forwards.
Good. Great job, mate. Enjoy the celebration.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Rod Tiley. Let's go to a commercial break and be back with more in a moment.
Of the first of the Winfield State of Origin clashes.
And the Blues are offside by a mile. Langer comes up. He's been interfered with, taps it and plays on. Alan Langer, long pass. McIndoe. Alan McIndoe, and he's in. Alan McIndoe in. Alan Langer put the try down to the little boy. Lewis dummies. Oh, nice pass to Staines. Curry, Hancock, and he's in. Kerrod Walter sliced the Blues to ribbons. Now it goes away to Langer. What's he do? He chips and chases and gets there. Alan Langer's in. Oh, what a blinder the little fellow's having. Alan Langer. It's been all Langer from the kick-off, and Queensland lead by 16 points to 0.
Been impressive from Queensland since they've got to 18-0. They haven't tried to push the pass. They haven't tried things they shouldn't.
Here's McIndoe flying down after this loose ball. He scored! Alan McIndoe has scored! No risk. Oh, Chicka Ferguson has made a complete mess of it. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's ruled. It's no try that Ferguson touched it. Lewis. Belcher. Back to Lewis. Back to Lewis. He's got the pass to Nile. Over it goes to Mel Meninga. Big Mel returns to Lane Park with a try. Queensland keep it alive, and that's the end of New South Wales. They're shot turkey here tonight. Mel Meninga in to score. Queensland lead by 22 points to 0. Bob Lindner. Bobby Lindner. He's got the speed, has he? He's thrown it forward. I think was that a try to Mel Meninga. It's a try. Nick Stones awarded the try. Bobby Lindner's cut them open. Big Mel's back up on the inside. Try number 2, Mel Meninga. Touched by New South Wales. Belcher. And it goes. Miles. Yes, it goes to Bobby Lindner. Over for the try. Queensland doing it in style. New South Wales just don't have the answers. Bobby Lindner in the score. 30 points to 0. Do they run? Do they kick? Miller kicks for Eddinghausen. That's a try. Gavin Miller, clever play. Kick for Andrew Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen in to score. The Blues get on the board. Queensland lead 32 points to 4. Out to Curry. Back to Meninga. Big Mel Meninga. Over the top it goes to Belcher. Back to Hagan. Can he keep it alive? Jack's knocked it on. Play on. Michael Hancock. Over.
Some great football back after this break.
When you had them at half-time, what were the instructions?
Well, I was a little bit concerned that we'd just given away a lot of possession about 10 minutes before half-time. The only way they were going to get back in the game was by us feeding their enthusiasm, and it meant that if we retained the possession for about the first 15 minutes, we held them out. They had to play catch-up football.
On behalf of every Queenslander, thanks a lot.
Good, thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll catch our breath. We'll be back in a moment after a short break.